What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us for behind the scenes of day 13 of building a Muck modular building to put into our Lego city. And on today's episode, we did a very exciting thing. We are officially done with our build, and now it's time to order. Now, Lego Studio has a couple of different options that I learned, and being that this was my first time, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty difficult to navigate this system. So ultimately, I had to Google a couple different routes and find out from other users how they went about exporting this. So I ended up doing this about 3 or 4 times. And a couple of times, I thought I was on the right track and I was completely wrong. So let's take a look. And the first route I ended up going with was I exported a parts list. And once I exported that parts list, I went on to lego.com and I started to go through the pick a brick and ordering these pieces one at a time and then crossing them off or highlighting them on this spreadsheet that was exported from Lego Studio. And not only was that extremely time consuming, but being that I was ordering it from lego.com, I ran into a couple of other issues. Price wise, this was going to cost more than $400. And not only is that outrageous just to say, but then when you compare it to what kind of sets I could get for $400 plus, it really made me want to say, I don't think I'm gonna go this route. Not only that, as like I said, it took so much time and it was a very detailed process trying to stay organized, making sure I got all the right pieces. And then the other option was you could export this into bricklink.com because Studio is a Bricklink product. So it goes directly into Bricklink. Bricklink does this cool little scan thing where it searches the entire globe, the entire world, and it finds the best possibilities. So ultimately, that saved me so much time. I mean, I went through and I did this like 4 or 5 times, and it ultimately kicked me out 6 vendors. So of those 6 vendors, 4 of them were located in the United States, 2 were overseas, I think like Slovenia and Germany. So it was coming from all over the world. And if I jump back to going through lego.com, as you know, if you've ever ordered pieces from there, you have 2 options when ordering. You can either do the best sellers, which you get pretty quickly, or you get just the regular pieces, which take up to 1 month worth of business days. And I've ordered through there and they usually take that long to get here. So it would have been at least 4 weeks until I got those. So I don't know how long Bricklink's going to take, but I can almost guarantee it's going to be faster, especially with the American made 4 sets. So ultimately I went that route. I'm still learning Bricklink because I'm pretty sure I could have, switched out vendors and bought all within the United States, maybe for a slighter higher dollar value. But ultimately, being it was my first time, I just said, I'm going to let Bricklink do its thing. And it ordered it. And it ultimately came in under $300 for the entire set that I built. Now, that's 2,771 pieces. So, that's not the craziest price, but it's not the best price. And realistically, had I spent more time on this and really dialed that in, I bet I could have gotten it well under $250 because I have a number of pieces in my backlog and in stashed in my back. So I could have easily went through and canceled out pieces that I don't need. But again, part of this experience is ordering these pieces from start to finish and getting the overall price count. And I couldn't give you an accurate price guide if I was pulling pieces out. So I didn't even want to bother with that. I just wanted to order it and see what the total price was. So ultimately it came in slightly under $300. So I wasn't super upset because I'm getting what I want. I'm getting to build this and it is somewhat of an experiment. So Bricklink allowed us to order those pieces. And then ultimately it took the American made pieces about 4 to 5 days tops to make it to me. They were coming from, most of it came from the West Coast. So 4 to 5 days, that's about normal. Now the other 2, they took about 2 to 3 weeks. Still better than Lego.com's month long, but 2 to 3 weeks. It was a very painstaking ordeal. The tracking was definitely off. It got held up at customs in New York City, so it was kind of a frustrating process, but all in all, 3 weeks to order the pieces. Currently, we're at about a month, slightly over a month of this process. So I know we're launching day 13 right now, 2 weeks into this build, but obviously we had to cut out the amount of time for shipping. So ultimately, it's about a 4 to 5 week process to get from building it from zero to ordering the pieces, getting those pieces. And again, you know, coming from all over the United States, they came at a rather good time. And the ones that came from overseas, I wasn't upset how long they took. It was just frustrating trying to find and follow the tracking. Some days it would say it's not available, and other days it would say it's hung up somewhere. Overall, pretty satisfied with the overall experience up until this point, but now we finally get to dump them all out and begin the building process. We are definitely starting that second portion of this project, because no more digital renderings. Now it's all live physical builds, and I am so excited to dive in and start building. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you love the process so far. I hope you're learning something. I hope if I've taught you anything, that means it's been a success. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching these videos. Thank you so much. We love you. We hope you liked it. Drop a like, drop a comment. Make sure you turn on them notifications. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribed. As always, thank you for watching and stay creative.